Ladies and gentlemen, nostalgia is a powerful thing. That's what I thought until I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie for the first time in 15 years. And my god, this is bad. Just before we start, this is not an anime hating video. The anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the reason I have played it for almost 20 years and the reason I have collected the cards for almost 20 years. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was my childhood. The original series had the most iconic characters like Kaiba, Bakura, Yuki, Joey, among many others. Dark Side of the Dimensions is an amazing movie and one of my favorite anime movies ever. So yeah, I love the anime. This movie in particular, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie released in 2004, is absolutely atrocious.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Let me just go further than this a bit. This movie currently sits at 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is absolutely dreadful. Now, to be fair, its audience popcorn meter rating is 49%, which is a lot better. And it does say in the summary for the reviews that if you have not seen the TV show or played the card games, you'll have no idea what's going on, which is completely true because I was trying to watch this movie and trying to erase my memory of all the card game and the anime to seeing if it made any sense. And if you had not seen played the card game or seen the anime, this movie makes no sense. It didn't even make much sense to me, and I've been watching the anime my whole life and been playing the game my whole life, so this movie is just all over the place. And yeah, that Rotten Tomatoes score literally puts it, if you go to Wikipedia, it puts it among the worst movies ever reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's really bad. Now, it makes complete sense that Konami would make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie in 2004 because if you remember, if you were young then or if you're older to Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so popular back in the early 2000s and the late 2000s. It was huge. Not on the same level as Pokemon, but it was pretty big. And you had the Pokemon movie, which came out, I believe, in 1998, which was quite a good success and actually not a bad movie. I think it's an okay movie with great scenes. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Was obviously going to replicate that, and I fully support that, and it makes complete sense. Now, from my understanding and the research I've done, Kazuki Takahashi did not direct this movie, and I don't think he wrote this movie from my research, unless I missed something while looking into this. So I don't feel as bad as shitting on this movie as I do, because obviously Kazuki Takahashi was involved in Dark Side of the Dimensions very heavily, and if you have not seen that movie, I highly recommend it because it's absolutely incredible. This movie, man, let's just talk about the good. Yeah, let's get the good stuff out of the way. Now, Kaiba has a really cool soundtrack in this movie. There's a scene where he's going to duel Pegasus on his way in his Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, which is now a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, and it's playing some really cool music. So that seems really cool. Also, this movie introduced us to Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, which is probably my favorite Blue Eyes card apart from the OG Blue Eyes White Dragon in the anime. So yeah, it gave us those two things. It was nice to obviously see the characters, Joey and that, but yeah, this is, and don't get me wrong, when I was 12 or whatever it was, when I watched this movie 15 years ago, I loved it. This movie was sick. This movie was like on repeat. It had the God cards in it as well. I was just obsessed, and you could also get the free cards with it if you went to cinema to watch it, which I did not go, but you could have. And I loved it. And then obviously I just rewatched it after watching Battle City, and man, let's just talk about the bad. Okay, so first of all, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously it's a follow-up from the anime, and if you haven't seen the anime, it doesn't make any sense anyway. It briefly explains, you know, Yugi's connection to ancient Egypt and the ancient Egyptian puzzle and all that. That's great. And then you kind of just have Kaiba there, who wants to defeat Yugi, of course, is his main objective. And then you have a Yugi Kaiba thing going on, but there's a kind of a dark spirit kind of in the background that you're like, oh, that's something. So you're like, okay, this is going to be a Yugi Kaiba duel, and then maybe the dark spirit will play a part in like a minor way that it influences Kaiba to go evil or something, because how unique is that trope? Wow, great. And then all of a sudden this guy comes out. I think his name's Anubis is the character's name, which is of course after the Egyptian god of, I believe it's the afterlife or death. And this guy comes out, and yeah, he just comes out. And he's just there, and he's just dueling, and he throws Kaiba to the side. He carries on dueling. He has the Pyramid of Light, obviously. He's got the Thynian, the Great Sphinx, the Andro Sphinx, whatever it's called, and he duels Yugi. He is apparently some ancient enemy of the Pharaoh, which they kind of don't delve into really, and then he gets cooked by Yugi, as is life, and then Yeah, this movie, man. I'm just trying to. I tried to forget it when I could. You also have a little subplot going on where Joey and all those guys are stuck in the Millennium Item, and they're kind of doing their own thing, fighting zombies and stuff. Because of course, you need to give them something to do while Yugi's throwing down with Kybra and then the Anubis guy, and then you just kind of, man, I just. They also remastered this movie, so when I watched it, it was available on YouTube in its entirety, and it is remastered, so it's much better quality than when I remember watching back in the day. And I just thought to myself, man, I wish they could have just remastered something else Yu-Gi-Oh related. Like, I know GX remaster is coming, but maybe 5Ds or something, because remastering this movie was a waste. I think this is definitely the worst. I know people hate on Zexal and Beyond, like Go Rush and Arc 5, but believe me guys, this movie is the worst, in my opinion, piece of medium that we have consumed for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's by far the worst, and it's not even close. So I kind of wish I never watched it, because then I could just always, you know, think about it fondly and just remember that it was really cool and amazing and just a masterpiece. But oh man, like, seriously, don't watch this movie, man. I was watching it because I'm watching the anime with my wife, and then I got to this movie and I was like, yeah, I remember it being pretty good, so let's watch it. And man, my wife doesn't love Yu-Gi-Oh! The show, but she's cool with it. Like, she likes Kybra and some of the characters like Bakura and stuff like that, which got me thinking, like, I feel like the villain of this movie should have been Bakura. I think that would have been way cooler. I know that obviously he is the villain later on in the anime, but that would have just been way better. And it's just, and the funniest thing is, they made this movie and it didn't make its money back. I believe it cost 20 to 30 million to make, and it made less than that. So they didn't even run a profit. That's how bad this movie was. Like, and I get it, not the general public would have not gone to see this film, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was very aimed at the young audience, so they wouldn't have really gone to watch it. But man, like, really? You got 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. You didn't even make your money back. I could just... I'm so glad that before Kazuki Takahashi passed away, he got to make Dark Side of Dimensions. Because as I said, guys, don't watch this film, watch Dark Side of Dimensions. That movie's incredible. I want to make a video on that one day as well, just appreciating that movie because I love it so much. But man, this movie, bro, like, actually, also another good thing is Pegasus is in it. I always loved Pegasus, and he was a really cool villain. I was actually, when I finished watching this movie, I was just there when the guy, Anubis guy, came out as the main villain. Like, he was like, came out of nowhere, and I was just thinking to myself, like, this is ass, bro. This is ass. And just, like, if I was genuinely to rate this movie out of 10, I'm not going to give it like a 0.6, because obviously 6% of Rotten Tomatoes. I'll give it like a 3 out of 10. You know, the nostalgia is still there a bit. You got Kaiba and Yugi, who have their voice actors, Dan Green and I believe Eric Stewart, who are fantastic voice actors, and I've got to give them their credit. And they were working with an absolute trash script.
Know your place, trash.
The funny thing is, I have not seen this movie in the sub. So I'm thinking, I watched it dub. I'm thinking, should I watch it in sub? And maybe it's better, but I still think it will be really bad. Because obviously, we as we all know, 99% of the time the sub is better. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to talk about this movie, man. Usually I talk about the card game and the cards, but I was like, you know what, let's talk about the anime today. Let's talk about the movie. I'm probably just going to title this video, The Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie as Sucks, because it sucks. Man, it came out 21 years ago. I was around 6 or 7, and I ate this crap up when I was young, bro. Man. And the funny thing is, there are movies that I loved as a kid that I watch now and I still love. This was just not one of them. And yeah, this movie sucks. So glad Kazuki Takahashi got to redeem himself, even though I don't think it was his fault. Because as I've seen, I don't think he was involved in this movie. I think this was separate. But yeah, man, don't watch this movie. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.